Section 23 of Little Masterpieces of American Wit and Humor, Volume 2. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recorded by James Curran. Little Masterpieces of American Wit and Humor, Volume 2. Edited by Thomas Lansing Masson. Section 23. St. Peter at the Gate, by an unknown author. St. Peter stood guard at the Golden Gate, with a solemn mien and an air sedate. When up to the top of the golden stair, a man and a woman ascended there. Applied for admission, they came and stood before St. Peter, so great and good, in hopes the city of peace to win, and asked St. Peter to let them in. The woman was tall and lank and thin, with a scraggly beardlet upon her chin. The man was short and thick and stout. His stomach was built so to round it out. His face was pleasant, and all the while he wore a kindly and genial smile. The choirs in the distance the echoes woke, and the man kept still while the woman spoke. "O thou who guardest the gate," said she, "we too come hither beseeching thee, to let us enter the heavenly land, and play our harps with the angel band. Of me, St. Peter, there is no doubt. There is nothing from heaven to bar me out. I've been to meetings 3 times a week. I almost always rise and speak. I've told the sinners about the day when they'd repent their evil way. I've told my neighbors, I've told them all, about Adam and Eve and the primal fall. I've shown them what they'd have to do if they'd pass in with the chosen few. I've marked their path of duty clear, laid out the plan for their whole career. I've talked and talked to them loud and long, for my lungs are good and my voice is strong. So good St. Peter, you'll clearly see, the gates of heaven are open to me. But my old man, I regret to say, hasn't walked exactly the narrow way. He smokes and he swears, and grave faults he's got, and I don't know whether he'll pass or not. He never would pray with earnest vim, or go to revival, or join in a hymn. So I had to leave him in sorrow there, while I, with the chosen, united in prayer. He ate what the pantry chanced to afford, while I, in my purity, sang to the Lord. And if cucumbers were all he got, it's a chance if he merited them or not. But oh, St. Peter, I love him so. To the pleasures of heaven, please let him go. I've done enough, a saint I've been. Won't that atone? Can't you let him in? By my grim gospel, I know 'tis so, that the unrepentant must fry below. But isn't there some way that you can see, that he may enter who's dear to me? It's narrow a gospel by which I pray, but the chosen expect to find some way of coaxing or fooling or bribing you, so that the relation can amble through. And say, St. Peter, it seems to me, this gate isn't kept as it ought to be. You ought to stand by that opening there, and never sit down in that easy chair. And say, St. Peter, my sight is dimmed, but I don't like the way your whiskers are trimmed. They cut too wide and outward toss. They'd look better narrow, cut straight across. Well, we must be going our crowns to win, so open, St. Peter, and we'll pass in. St. Peter sat quiet and stroked his staff, but spite of his office he had to laugh. Then said with a fiery gleam in his eye, "Who's tending this gateway? You or I?" And then he arose, in his stature tall, and pressed a button upon the wall, and said to the imp who answered the bell, "Escort this lady around to hell." The man stood still as a piece of stone, stood sadly, gloomily, there alone. A lifelong settled idea he had, that his wife was good and he was bad. He thought the woman went down below, then he would certainly have to go. That if she went to the regions dim, there wasn't a ghost of a show for him. Slowly he turned, his habit bent, to follow wherever the woman went. St. Peter, standing on duty there, observed that the top of his head was bare. He called the gentleman back and said, "Friend, how long have you been wed?" 30 years, with a weary sigh. And then he thoughtfully added, "Why?" St. Peter was silent. With his head bent down, he raised his hands and scratched his crown. Then, seeming a different thought to take, slowly, half to himself, he spake. 30 years with that woman there, no wonder the man hasn't any hair. Swearing is wicked, smoke's no good. You smoke and swore, I should think you would. 30 years with a tongue so sharp, oh, Angel Gabriel, give him a harp. A jeweled harp with a golden string. Good sir, pass in there where the angels sing. Gabriel, give him a seat alone, one with a cushion, up near the throne. Call up some angels to play their best. Let him enjoy the music and rest. See that on the finest ambrosia he feeds. He's had about all the health he needs. It isn't just hardly the thing to do, to roast him on heaven and in the future too. They gave him a harp with golden strings, a glittering robe with a pair of wings. And he said, as he entered the realm of day, "Well, this beats cucumber, anyway." And so the scriptures have come to pass. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. End of St. Peter at the Gate.